INTJs are among the rarest personality types, accounting for about 1.9% of the population. They are also among the most misunderstood personalities, with a unique combination of traits that often surprise and confuse other people. They are perfectionists, have a lot of opinions, and can be very cold. They spend so much time in their head that they often forget to pay attention to the real world around them. INTJs are rational, introverted thinkers who need alone time to process everything they've observed. They are usually very smart, and generally love figuring out how things work. They like to come up with new ideas and strategies, although they rarely bother to explain these ideas to other people, unless it's necessary for them to do so. INTJs are both very private and very social people. They enjoy spending time alone, but they also enjoy the company of friends who have similar interests. They are more on the reserved side, but they can open up about things that interest them. They are also very independent people. INTJs may seem aloof because they are so self-sufficient that they don't need other people to help them or tell them what to do. Just like their brain works in a unique way, their body also needs time to think and process information. But if most of these points sound like you, then there's a good chance that you might be an INTJ. 1. Your brain works differently. INTJs have a unique brain that works differently from most people. Unlike most extroverts, who gain energy from social interactions, INTJs function more efficiently on their own. In addition to becoming drained by spending too much time around other people, they also tend to experience something called cognitive overload. This is when they are bombarded by so much stimulation that it becomes hard for them to process the information. INTJs have a very analytical mindset. They observe the world around them from multiple angles and try to find patterns, especially ones that can help them predict what will happen in the future. 2. You can be hard to read at times. INTJs like to keep their emotions and thoughts inside instead of sharing them with others. They aren't the type of people who will share every little detail about their lives, and would rather keep to themselves. This can lead to misunderstandings in friendships and romantic relationships, because INTJs don't like talking about their emotions and what they want. They prefer using actions instead of words when it comes to that sort of stuff, so don't expect much emotional communication from an INTJ. 3. You see patterns everywhere you go. INTJs are very perceptive and they like to make connections between different things. They may notice patterns in objects, numbers, letters, and behavior people use. This is why INTJs are often described as visionaries or even seers, because their minds work very differently than most other people's minds. They also tend to predict the future and solve problems in a way that others don't normally think about. This is why INTJs can be seen as arrogant at times, because they like showing off the things their minds can understand that other people's minds simply cannot. 4. You seem to confuse other people. INTJs use a dry and dark humor that only a few will understand. They also have a very particular way of speaking, so most INTJs might come off as confusing to other people. When they want to express their feelings about something, INTJs don't use flowery words or go on and on about how much they care because that feels fake to them. They just say it bluntly if the situation calls for it, so if you tell an INTJ how much you love them, don't be surprised if they respond with "thank you" instead of a dramatic monologue that would make Shakespeare roll in his grave. 5. You are creative, but in a logical way. INTJs are creative people who need to deal with facts instead of just baseless ideas. They have their own theories about how things work and what they should be like, so they can't just sit idly by while the world doesn't follow their rules. They usually find a balance between logic and creativity. They use imagination to think about the future, but base their plans on facts and data. This is why INTJs are so ambitious and determined to build their dreams. 6. You have a complex inner world. INTJs might seem to be very straightforward people, but they also have a complex inner world that few truly get to know. They spend a lot of time by themselves, and tend to analyze other people's motives and actions as a way of protecting themselves from getting hurt. They also tend to obsess over goals they want to achieve, and need a lot of time alone to think about how they can get there. This is why INTJs are always thinking 5 steps ahead, and spend a lot of time wondering if their plans will work. 7. You don't like mindless chatter or small talk. INTJs hate wasting time on things they find trivial, especially if it's just something they have to do instead of a task they enjoy doing. They prefer talking about meaningful topics, but small talk can feel superficial at times. INTJs are introverts who prefer to listen and observe most of the time. They like having meaningful conversations with people who think like they do, so if your friends are always complaining about the dumb things their co-workers say, then you probably have a lot in common. 8. You are a private person, but you can be social. Although INTJs want to keep to themselves most of the time, they also enjoy spending some quality time with their friends and family. If everyone is going out for a normal party, most INTJs might decline because they love some alone time to recharge. But if you see an INTJ in a lively social environment, they probably like who they are with, and the topic of conversation. They just need some time to be alone after doing something wild. 9. You can be rather blunt sometimes. INTJs are honest people, meaning they will never say anything just to please someone else. Sure, you might hurt someone's feelings once in a while if you decide to speak your mind without thinking first, but it's better than telling white lies to avoid conflict. Most INTJs have a strong sense of self, and they care about being truthful more than being nice. They believe that if you speak your mind, you can achieve so much more than just trying to please everyone else all of the time. 10. You need alone time to process your thoughts. INTJs spend an excessive amount of time by themselves due to their introverted nature, another trait associated with this personality type. This is because they need time to process all the information gathered through their observations. They are very rational people, so they need time alone to think about everything that's going on around them, and how it might affect them later on. INTJs also enjoy brainstorming new ideas by themselves, because they feel like other people's input just makes things more complicated sometimes. The INTJ personality type is characterized by their introverted nature, logical thought process, and tendency to see patterns in everything. They are also very focused on achieving goals as they want them done without any interruptions. These traits make the INTJ a rather interesting person to know, but not always an easy one. Although INTJs can be seen as arrogant, they care about being truthful above anything else. They can be quite blunt sometimes, and they need a lot of time alone to process their thoughts. This might leave people wondering what they are really thinking, but there is actually no secret behind INTJs' minds. It's just that their approach to things can be very different than the norm.